beginners. They need to practice their writing. A lot of times what I'll see is people take a piece of paper and they're just free form writing happy birthday, sometimes this big, sometimes this big. I find that you need to have something you're tracing first. What do you think? In other words, we have to start somewhere. And if I'm just playing around, it's much different than actually practicing.
You know, this is a new question to me, and I cannot answer that. I don't know whether that is really the way to go. Practicing is, of course, that's the thing, to practice. And I gave you a few hints when you have those sheets in front of you. Take a look. I write the small letters. They are 2/3 the height of the large one. Okay? Because that makes it look full. Another thing that you notice is this line here. Watch out. I'll make this a little bigger so that. See this line? This is coming again and again and again. You see that on my A? A, B, D, on the D, no, but
H,
M, mom. It always starts out the same way. Notice that? And to come back to what you said, maybe it would be good if we can trace that, you know. But eventually, you practice this.
So many times what I see, Chef Walter, honestly, with students, and this is just you and I talking, them listening. What I see with students a lot of times is they'll say, okay, I'm going to practice my writing today. So they just get out a piece of paper, and pretty soon it just turns into kind of play. And they never get a style, or they never have, because all of us need a happy birthday. It's like playing tennis. If you can't get the serve over the net, you're never going to play tennis. So you got to have a serve that's going to go over 90% of the time, otherwise you never get started, right? And it's the same thing with here. The first thing you have to have is an acceptable happy birthday. I remember, Keith, when you first came here, you were doing your writing, and you could write happy birthday. It was all spelled correctly. It was all straight lines, right? And then I told you, okay, now you've got to take it to the next step, and you work on that, and you get a neat happy birthday. A lot of times I'll see students that are playing around with the cornet, the decorating tip, all day long, and every happy birthday they write looks different, and pretty soon they're writing their name, or they're writing the name of their girlfriend and stuff, and they come away with nothing. They haven't developed the skill. So for me, if you're going to practice happy birthday, you need either a line to practice to, or you need a height, maybe 2/3, the small letters are 2/3 the size of the large letters. Then you take a piece of paper and you have a line showing the height of the small letters along with the line showing the height of the large letters. Now you're guiding that, and then pretty soon you don't need that line anymore. So you have to be careful with writing. It's probably one of the most boring things to practice, but at the same time, you have to really be consequential with yourself. Am I really developing a skill when I'm practicing this, or am I just going through the motions and not getting anything out of it? Anyway, that's my speech. Sorry.
It is no. This is I agree 100%. And the other thing is that if you don't have a nice writing, you decorate a cake and you screw it up with your writing, the cake doesn't look good. No. You know, this is nice. And let me say, for instance, I sort of see it, because I've done it so many times, I see it already before it's written. Congratulations. All right? Maybe I want to make a flower arrangement here, and I write congratulations, that's all. All right? So.
And it's the most often misspelled word in cake decorating.
yeah. There's no D in congratulations.
Yeah, that's all the time.
Yeah, all the
You see
time.
it all the time. And it's a long word. So you have to leave enough room for the S.
See that? This line goes up here.
Mhm.
This is, but all that, it's written in an angle. I can also, like, you can lean the whole thing, but lean it the same way. And in order to distract the eye again from, in congratulation, to have that line that we talked about it. What I do a lot, I underline it like this, and all of a sudden I have a line. See? Okay.
But it's plotted out before he starts writing. He's already visualizing, do I have enough room? If I start out and I see my first 3 letters are too big and then everything else gets smaller and smaller and smaller, I've seen those
Or it
cakes
goes on
too.
the side of the cake.
Yeah.
And underneath it. Yeah. You know, this is
I know, chef.
not
See,
good.
see what happens is his buttercream is cooled down overnight, okay?
Yeah.
And the problem is it takes on this aerated texture. You want the,
Like natural. Oh. Yeah, that's exactly what Chef Doug said. It aerates and then it's not smooth anymore. So I smooth it out.
this is why I'm always preaching to you, when you go to decorate a cake or you go to spread buttercream, make sure the temperature of it, the smoothness of it takes away half of the work. If you're gonna smear buttercream on a 16-inch cake for a wedding cake, I always have it in the mixer, I let it go slowly and get really super creamy. When I hit it with the spatula, it's like silk. I let it set for half an hour in a cold room. I go back to try and use it, and it's a totally different structure. That crystallizes, right? Especially butter. Okay? Butter has a very short
All right.
melting.
A cake that comes a lot is a baby shower cake. That should, and put a little buttercream on here. Not as strong, not as bright as I have it here. Okay. And I make a stork. The body. Here it is. I had a guy decorating for me at one time, and he made a stork, and I always thought there's something is wrong on that stork. Well, he bent the leg back, and that's another thing you want to be careful to know where the joints, how does it bend on a horse.